Hi, fourth grade. This is Miss Wilson again, coming to you with another lesson. So our last video, we rounded to the nearest thousand using our vertical line. Today's video, we're gonna again round, but it'll be rounding to any place value, also using our vertical line. So our objective is I will be able to round to any place value using the vertical line. So let's get started.
Hey there, Zerner! Let's round 83,855 to the nearest 10,000 using a vertical number line. Between what two 10,000s is 83,855? Let's start with the lower endpoint. How many 10,000s are in 83,855?
So I would definitely be looking at my number and finding my place value. So I have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. What number do I have in my 10,000s place? Yes, an 8. So I have 8 10,000s.
There are 8 10,000s in 83,855. So 80,000 is our lower endpoint. Label that here.
Okay, so I'm going to change my written form to my standard form. And remember, the standard form is just the regular way that we write our numbers. And don't forget my comma, because my comma goes between my hundreds and my thousands place, or it separates my hundreds and my thousands.
What's 1 10,000 more than 8 10,000s? That's our upper endpoint. Label that here.
So again, I'm going to look at my lower number in my 10,000s place, and I'm just going to add 1 to my 10,000s place. And 8 plus 1 is 9. So I have 9 10,000s. Then I'm going to write it in standard form. And again, standard form is just what? Yes, the regular way that we write our numbers.
1 more 10,000 than 8 10,000s is 9 10,000s, or 90,000. So that's our upper endpoint. Notice our endpoints are 10,000s because we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. What's halfway between 8 10,000s and 9 10,000s? Think. What is halfway between 80,000s and 90,000s? Label the midpoint on the number line.
So I'm going to think of what's between the midpoint, which means halfway point, between 80 and 90. And I know that's 85. So 85,000. Now that's in my written form, and now I have to change it to my standard form, which would be 85,000.
The midpoint is 85,000s, or 85,000. Now let's plot. Where can we label 83,855 on the number line? Is 83,855 greater than or less than 85,000s?
Okay, so I'm going to look at the number that I'm trying to plot. So 83, is that higher than or lower than 85? And I know from counting that 83 is lower than 85, so I'm going to plot it below 85,000.
83,855 is less than 85,000. So 83,855 is here on the number line. Is 83,855 nearer to 80,000 or 90,000? Round 83,855 to the nearest 10,000.
Okay, so I'm going to use my vertical line to see which number is 83,855 closer to. Is it closer to 80,000 or is it closer to 90,000? Now, I need you to remember from our last video that the equal sign squiggly means about, is about. So I'm saying that 83,855 is about 80 thousandths because it's closer to. But another way we can definitely look at it is it below or above our midway point? Because our midway point or halfway point tells us whether we go up or it stays the same at 80,000.
83,855 is nearer to 80,000 on our vertical number line. So 83,855 rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 80,000. Great work, Zerner. Now let's round this number to the nearest 100,000 in our notes. We're working on Mission 1, Lesson 8. Let's start by labeling the number line beginning with the lower endpoint. How many hundred thousands are in 749,085? Label the lower endpoint here in standard form.
Okay, so we definitely have to find our place value. So we're rounding to the nearest 100,000s. So we need to find out what number is in the 100,000s place. So I'm looking ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000. So I have 7 in my 100,000s place. So my lower number is going to be 700,000. Okay, so you can pause right here and write in your 700,000 in standard form. Okay, we're back.
There are 700,000s in 749,085, which is equal to 700,000. What's one more 100,000? That's our upper endpoint. Write that here in standard form.
Okay, so we're going to find our top number, which is 100,000 more than 700,000. So what's 7 plus 1? All right, let's write that there.
One more 100,000 is 800,000. Notice that both our endpoints are 100,000s because we're rounding to the nearest 100,000. What's halfway between 700,000 and 800,000? Label the midpoint here.
So we have to figure out what is the endpoint, the midpoint, or halfway between 700,000 and 800,000. So we had 70 and 80. What would be the midpoint? Okay, so let's write that.
Halfway between 700,000 and 800,000 is 750,000. So that's our midpoint. Check your work.
All right, pause here. If that's not what you have, pause and correct it. All right, let's continue.
Now, plot 749,085 on the number line with the dot. Go ahead.
All right, so let's plot where 749,085 will be located on our vertical line. You can pause here to plot it.
We can plot 749,085 here on our number line. It falls just below 750,000. Check your work. Make sure you plotted 749,085 at the same place on the number line.
All right, check your work here. If this is not where you plotted it, please erase and correct. Pause the video, and then let's continue.
Now we're ready to round. What is 749,085 rounded to the nearest 100,000? Think about which 100,000 it's nearer to. Write your answer here. We can see that 749,085 is below 750,000. So 749,085 rounds down to 700,000. Check your work.
All right, if that's not what you have, please pause here and correct it.
Let's round the same number to two different place values. First, round 105,159 to the nearest 10,000.
Okay, so first we got to find our 10,000th place and what is in our 10,000th place. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000. So in my 10,000th place, I have a 0. So anything above my 10,000 place, what's in my 100,000 place, it stays the same. So this is going to be 100,000 because my 10,000th place is going to stay the same, which is at 0. And then the top, I'm going to add 1 to my 10,000th place. And 0 is there, so 0 plus 1 would be what? 1. So again, my 100,000th place is going to stay the same. My 10,000th place is going to go up 1, and everything behind it is going to become 0. Okay, now I have to find my halfway point or my midpoint. Halfway point, midpoint, both mean the exact same thing. Okay, so I have 10 and I have 100,000 and I have 110,000. What would be my halfway point? My halfway point will be 105,000. That's my midway point between 100,000 and 110,000. Now I have to plot where 105,159 will be on my vertical line. It'll be right above 105,000. All right, so when I look at my vertical line, anything above my midway point will be rounded to my highest number. So I'm saying 105,159 is about 110,000.
We can see on the number line that 105,159 rounds up to 110,000. Now, let's round the same number to the nearest 100,000.
So we're going to use this exact same number, but this time we're going to round it to a different place value, which would be 100,000. So again, I need to see what's in my 100,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000. So I have 1 in my 100,000s place. So my lower number will have a 1 in that place. So that's 100,000. And then I'm going to add 1 to my 100,000s place. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So it's 200,000. Now I have to find my midpoint. And what would be my midpoint between 100 and 200? What's the middle between 100 and 200? Yes, 150. 150,000. Now I have to plot this exact same number, but remember we're rounding to the nearest 100,000s. So my 105,159 will be under 150. So it'll be closer to my 100,000. And remember, anything that's below our midpoint will be rounded to our bottom number, which is 100,000.
When we round to the nearest 100,000, 105,159 rounds down to 100,000. That's different from when we rounded up to the nearest 10,000. We got two different estimates. The place value we decide to round to can make a difference in the rounded values. When you round using a smaller place value, your estimate will be more accurate. Rounding 105,159 to the nearest 10,000 is a more accurate estimate than when we rounded it to the nearest 100,000. Let's keep going with a word problem.
Okay, so anytime we have a word problem, we definitely have to read it twice just to know what they're asking us to do. So it says 382,743 people went to the water park in the month of July, and 491,852 people went in the month of August. About how many total people went to the water park in July and August? So I'm going to read that again just so I can get an understanding of what are they asking me to do. So 382,743 people went to the water park in the month of July. Okay, so they're telling me how many people went in July. Then it says 491,852 people went in the month of August. Okay, so the second part is telling me about August. About how many total people. Okay, so total definitely tells me that I have to add. Total people went to the water park in July and August. So what am I trying to figure out? I'm trying to figure out how many people went to the park in July and August. The total number. So you have to understand what the question is asking you before you can do any type of math. Okay, so I'm going to use this tape diagram on this word problem. So at the top, see how this arrow is covering the entire diagram? So that has to be my total. So that says in one part, I know the number. I know how many people went to the park in July. The second part of my tape diagram, I know how many people went to the park in August. Now, what I don't know yet is how much this equals all together. So that's what I'm going to try to figure out.
We know that 382,743 people went to the water park in July, and 491,852 people in August. Here's our tape diagram. It shows we're finding the total number of people who went to the water park in July and August combined. What equation matches our tape diagram?
Okay, so when I'm trying to find the total, I know that I'm adding. And what I'll be adding is my two numbers that I know to give me my total.
We can use addition to solve. Notice the problem asks for about how many total people went to the water park. Without finding the exact answer, we can estimate the total by first rounding each add-in to the nearest 100,000, and then adding the rounded numbers. Start by rounding the number of people who went to the park in July.
Okay, so we're going to round to the nearest 100,000. So we're just going to do July 1st. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So this 100,000 is 3. This 3 has two choices. Either it's going to stay the same and be 300,000, or it's going to go up 1 and become 400,000. So the midpoint between 300,000 and 400,000 is 350,000. So the number I have here is greater than 350,000. So I know this number is going to go up to 400,000. Okay.
The first addend, 382,743, rounds up to the nearest 100,000, 400,000. So about 400,000 people went to the water park in July. About how many people went in August? Round 491,852 to the nearest 100,000.
So again, I'm going to find my 100,000th place, which has a 4 in it. My 4 has two choices. Either it can stay the same, which will give me 400,000, or it can go up by 1, which will give me what? 500,000. So my midway point between 400,000 and 500,000 will be 450,000. This number, 491,000, is greater than 450,000. So that means that this will be rounded up to 500,000.
$491,852 rounded to the nearest 100,000 is 500,000. Both addends rounded up. Now we're ready to estimate the total number of people who went to the water park. Add 400,000 and 500,000 to solve. Then complete the answer sentence.
Okay, so I'm going to solve. 400,000 plus 500,000 will give me 900,000. So about 900,000 people went to the water park in the months of July and August. That's a lot of people. Now I'm going to complete the answer sentence. And I'm just going to write my answer in there. About 900,000 total people went to the park in July and August. It's so important that I understood what I was reading, my reading comprehension. Because if I didn't understand it, I was trying to get the total number, and total is adding, I would not have gotten this answer correct.
400,000 plus 500,000 is 900,000. So about 900,000 total people went to the water park in July and August. We estimated the sum to the nearest 100,000. Way to be flexible and round to different place values today, Zerner. Take the leap to the Tower of Power.
So we're definitely gonna round some more numbers to the nearest whatever they ask, because we have to be able to round to different place values in 4th grade, all the way up to the million place value. Is this the one we were on? Yes. So we're going to use our brain to round these numbers. All right, so we're rounding to the 10,000th place. So first I need to find my 10,000th place. I have a 7 in my 10,000th place. My 7 has two choices. Either my 7 is going to stay the same, and if it stays the same, it's going to be 70,000. Or my 7 can go up 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8, so it becomes 80,000. Those are my two endpoints. Now I have to figure out my midpoints. So 70 and 80, what is the midpoint between 70 and 80? Yes, 75. So 75,000 is my midpoint. Now I have to place 78,432 on my number line, and that will be above my midpoint. So because it's above my midpoint, I know that it has to go to my highest endpoint, which would be 80,000. So I'm saying 78,432 is about 80,000. So good job. Let's do another one. Okay, so this time they're going to have us rounding to the nearest 100,000. Because remember, in this lesson, we have to be able to round to multiple place values. So we're going to round to the 100,000th place. So first I need to find my 100,000s. What number is in my 100,000th place? Ones, tens, thousands, ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000. So I have an 8 in my 100,000th place. And my 8 has two options. One, it can stay the same. So if my 8 stayed the same, I would have at one end of my midpoint, at one end of my vertical line, I would have 800,000. My second choice with that 8 is that it goes up how many? 1. So my second choice would be on the other end of my vertical line would be 900,000. So those are my only two choices for answers when I'm rounding. 800,000, 900,000. Okay? So I'm going to label my midpoint. What's the midpoint between 800 and 900? 850 thousands. Now I'm going to plot my 836,629. So I'm going to look at my place values. So my 100,000s, they got 8, 8. So I can't tell which one is bigger. In my 10,000s place, I have a 5 and a 3. 5 is greater than 3, so I have to plot 836,000 below my 850,000. Now I'm going to round. Any number that is plotted below the midpoint automatically goes with my lower point on my endpoint on my vertical line. So that'll be 800,000. All right, let's do another one. Now, this time, I'm going to do it without a vertical line. Now, if you still need a vertical line, please use one. This says estimate the sum. So sum, the definition of sum is the answer of an addition problem. So that tells me by seeing the word sum that I'm adding by rounding to the nearest 100,000. So first I'm going to round my first number, which is 273,295. I need to find my 100,000th place. What number is in my 100,000th place? 2. So that 2 has two options. It can stay the same, and that will give me 200,000, or it can go up 1, which will give me 300,000. Yes. So I need to know, will 273,000 be plotted above my midpoint? And my midpoint will be 250,000. So yes, it'll be above it. So that means that my number is going to be rounded to 300,000. Now I'm going to round my other number. So this one has a 4 in my 100,000th place. Now what two options does this 4 have? Yes, it can stay the same, stay at 400,000. Yes, or it can go up 1 to 500,000. Now, this time I'm going to look at the number behind the 100,000 place that I'm working with. And that number behind it is 4 less. That 4 is going to stay the same. And 2 is less than 4, so that's going to be 400,000. And remember, it says sum, which means I'm adding. 3 plus 4 is 7. So 700,000. Good job. All right, good job. We should have another one. I guess we're waiting on my internet. All right, good job. We've learned and our brain has grown. All right, this is Miss Wilson back. I hope that you've enjoyed our video today. Our objective was that we will be able to round using a vertical line to different place values. And in this lesson, we rounded to the 10,000th place value. We rounded to the 100,000th place value. Because in third grade, we were rounding to the hundreds and to the tens. So until next time, bye.